Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater, and in this video, we're gonna finally break down one of the old Sulawesi tanks and start to stock the new Sulawesi tanks that we built for the rack that's right behind me. I also got a box from a friend with some surprise goodies in it as well, so let's dig right in. So to start off, the first thing we got to do is break down the old 55-gallon tank. It is in the way of the project that we want to do in the living room. We're kind of building a room inside our living room as well as the rack for 110-gallon tanks. So we're currently in the middle of that, and just to make room and make it easier for us to move around, we're going to break down the Sulawesi tank first. All the old rock is going to go into the new tanks, as well as all the snails, and some of the shrimp are going to go into one of the new tanks, but we already have two Sulawesi tanks that are running and mature, so we're just going to throw all of the shrimp into the old 40-gallon Sulawesi tank. Now, I've already been working on catching all the shrimp out of this tank. However, I just let the snails hang out and do their thing. I got a head count of at least 43 snails that were climbing around above the substrate that I could count. So I know at least 43 snails need to get caught today. As well as the snails, the shrimp are also super hard to catch unless you remove all the rocks. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is take out all of the rocks and move them into the new tanks. And now that the rocks are all gone, the shrimp and snails are easy pickings. Now I got as many of the snails as I possibly could. However, I'm going to let the tank sit for a while and let the ones that are underneath the substrate come up so I can get them as well. And even waiting several hours in between looking at the snails, they still seem to emerge, so I'm going to go ahead and let this tank sit overnight before I fully break down and throw away the substrate. And good thing we let it sit overnight, because we did end up finding a few the next day. Now it's time to split up the snails and separate them into different colors. We've got some chocolates and also yellows in this tank. We're going to do one tank for the chocolate and 3 tanks for the yellows. But when we moved the rocks, there happened to be a little baby yellow snail on one of the rocks, so another one of the tanks got a yellow baby as well. We're going to leave the last 2 tanks, one for orange rabbit snails, and then the other one, we're not decided yet on whether we're going to make it another Opaula tank or put Sulawesi just yet. And now that the snails are in the tanks, we're going to add the few stragglers of the cardinal Sulawesi shrimp into the tank as testers as well. And we highly recommend that you let the tank cycle for over 30 days before you add any shrimp, and these tanks have been going well over 30 days. In fact, check out the link above where Shelby had to set up these tanks all by herself when my leg was broken. And now here for the surprise, my good friend Kevin Kelly at Brooklyn Hardscape actually has and keeps and breeds his own type of Sulawesi shrimp. So he sent me a box as well as some aquatic plants, and I didn't want to do a complete unboxing video. I've done quite a bit of those in the past. So we got a quick little time lapse of me going through the box, and surprise, it is Malawa shrimp, nobody guessed it in the past video on what the new shrimp is going to be, so nobody got the surprise. I'll do another question in a future video, and I'll save the prize for another giveaway. However, this was a great opportunity for me to get my hands on a new type of shrimp for us. I've had Malawa in the past, however, it's just not one of the shrimp that is high in demand or very desirable, so I kind of put it on the back burners and stopped taking care of them or worrying about them. And then, you know, as time progressed, I wish I had them back again, and Kevin just happened to have some, so I got my hands on those, threw those into the tank. They are doing well. In fact, we already have babies. I did that unboxing a little while ago, but the shrimp are all doing really well. We didn't lose any. That was Kevin's first time shipping any shrimp. He actually watched our past video on how to bag and ship shrimp to learn how to do it. He did a great job. No DOAs or anything like that. He even sent me a ton of buried females. And he also sent me a nice little care package of plants, some eros, some blood vomit, as well as some red downoi, and a couple other little interesting things that we can play around with in the terrariums. Now, I might get my hands on some new snails here in the near future. However, with this shrimp, we are going to wait a month or two for weather to warm up a bit. The Sulawesi shrimp are super sensitive to temperatures. Anything below 75 degrees can be deadly to the shrimp. So to avoid that, we're gonna just wait until the warmer months, so that way we have consistent temperatures above 70s, even throughout the nights between whatever states I'm gonna be buying the shrimp from. That way we optimize the chances of the shrimp making it home safely. The Malawa shrimp, even though they are a Sulawesi shrimp, they are just like a super hardy, like Neocaridina style shrimp. They can take a wide variety of parameters as well as lower temperatures. So for that reason, I wasn't really worried about Kevin shipping those in the wintertime. Even from Seattle, they did great. But the Harlequin, yellow cheeky, white orchids, the other types of Sulawesi shrimp that we want, they're just not that hardy. They're quite sensitive. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you watched it to the end, and you make an order through the website this weekend for President's Day, or you're just gonna happen to be at Aquashella next weekend, let us know. We got a free gift for you guys. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.